Hey, what's up? It's Christmas time, and I really like Christmas. It's my favorite time of the year, and as a wrestling fan, I sometimes think about if I were to be asked by another wrestling fan, hey, what are some things, some DVDs you recommend? What are some matches that you recommend? What would you recommend for a wrestling fan to watch? And I and my brothers who are wrestling fans own some WWE DVDs. And so I thought I would give my opinions on what I would recommend. So this is my top 10 WWE DVDs. Now for this, I don't actually have to own them. I just have to watch them at some point. Some of them I have owned, some of them my brothers own, and some of them I've borrowed. And so let's get into this. Number 10 is the World's Greatest Tag Teams. This was done, I believe, in 2007, 2008 or so, and maybe even maybe later than that, when Miz and Morrison were still a tag team, and they are in character the entire time, and they present a bunch of different tag teams throughout the years from WWE and WCW, and it's pretty cool. It's the way that they segue into them, and they talk about the types of teams that are like brothers, or people that are thrown together miscellaneously, or even people that just start out coming into wrestling as a tag team. And some of them actually they choose are pretty good. Some of them I think they probably should have picked something that I like more, but it's only my opinion. But all in all, I enjoy it. It's a nice collection of matches. And Miz and Morrison are funny in this documentary. Number 9 is The Click Rules. So, just so you know, there aren't going to be any specific pay-per-views in this. There's mainly going to be documentaries and things of that nature. And this is an interesting one, a pretty fascinating one. I've been wanting to see this one for a while because when I go on Troll Safari, or even when and now, looking back when I see like clips of like rumors and stuff, or even when WWE talks about wrestling, they talk about the Click. And growing up as a wrestling fan in the 90s, I didn't know anything about the Click and what they were or any of that sort of thing. And so it's kind of like seeing something that I had no idea about. And also, this doesn't really hold any punches in a sense that they talk about the good that the Click did and the bad that they did, and also the men in the Click, some of their demons that they fought, and some of the bad things that have been said about them, and also it has a collection of matches. A lot of the matches they chose are good, and they're all Clicks, and they're all basically the Click either wrestling against each other or later on teaming with each other. But the only thing I would say is it's missing 2 of my favorite Click matches, and one of them is Razor Ramon versus Diesel from SummerSlam '94, and they have a previous match, but I kind of like the one from SummerSlam. And also they're missing WrestleMania 11 match with Diesel defending the WWE Championship against Shawn Michaels. I like those 2 matches, and as a fan of those wrestlers, I would have liked to have seen those matches in this DVD. Hey, what can you do? Number 8 is History of WrestleMania. This is a fascinating one because I really like WrestleMania. It's it and the Royal Rumble are my 2 favorite pay-per-views. And so, finding out the history of it, what they went through to try and get it started, and how it progressed through the years, is fascinating. I like it. You know, it's missing some things because WrestleMania 20 is kind of skipped over in a sense, because the 2 championship matches, you have Eddie Guerrero, who unfortunately passed away. He defended against Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's not in the WWE anymore, so he's not going to be featured there. And also, the World Heavyweight Championship, it's Chris Benoit, and WWE is not going to celebrate Chris Benoit, and I can see their point. I understand. And they talk about Shawn Michaels as The Undertaker, And also they talk about the streak and how the streak is magic and all this stuff, other stuff. And there are a lot of different things that surround WrestleMania that are pretty cool that I like. And some of the matches they chose are really good. And one I hadn't seen in quite some time, the Triangle Ladder match from WrestleMania 2000. Good stuff. Good stuff. Really good documentary, I have to say. But it's unfortunately kind of low on this list because I don't watch it as much as some of the other ones on this list. Number 7 is The Undertaker, The Streak. Yes, there's going to be an Undertaker DVD on this list, of course. But this is the one I chose for number 7. And it's low on the list because the documentary part of it is not that long. And I know The Undertaker usually doesn't do the interviews, even for his own DVDs and stuff. So it's missing that element of him talking about the matches themselves. And you have other people talking about it. And it's a quick documentary too. I don't even think it counts for an hour. But the matches themselves, the 20 matches, there are some great matches on there. My 2 favorite WrestleMania matches on there. Shawn Michaels, 25 and 26. There's the Enderman Era match, another one of the top 5 of mine. A lot of great matches. The only thing I would have liked, though, that would have made it even better, and probably would have brought it higher on the list, was if they had given the background like some sort of video package before the matches, not just go straight into the match. It's a nitpick, but it's, especially for the later matches where they actually do have those sort of things, it felt missing to me. I know there's another one after The Unthinkable happened, but I'm not going to recommend that one because I prefer this one. Number 6 is Triple H, Thy Kingdom Come. This one is fascinating because it shows Triple H going from being the wrestler all the way from his early days and being trained in wrestling by Killer Kowalski until when he starts becoming an executive for WWE. And some people say, oh, it's a lot of fluff. It's a fluff piece. And WWE has the balls to really talk about the nitty-gritty stuff and talk about how some people are assholes and blah, 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 blah. I will get into that later. But this documentary is good, and it's got nice stuff with him and Stephanie as well. And even The Undertaker shows up talking about his relationship with Triple H, the stuff that they went through, and also Triple H talks about how he went to Undertaker when he started going out with Stephanie. I had no idea about this. I was like, really? You went to the Undertaker for that? Oh, that's fascinating. And you get to see a glimpse of the man, not just the wrestler. And I like that. It's kind of cool. Some of the matches they chose are good. There's some good matches here. And Triple H is such a long career that I don't even know which ones I would have put on there instead of other some matches. And so I liked it. It's good. Not as good. Not good enough to make the top 5. And that'll be immediately following this video. And so stay tuned for part 2. Later.